Here we go. And we're starting it with a cough, ladies and gentlemen.
Starting it with the coronavirus. God.
It's not funny, but unfortunately, yes. Mari does have COVID.
It is the vid.
It is. We were just discussing how her cat likes to sit outside of her door and meow every time we say, let's get ready to record. Zeus lets her know, no, bitch, I'm going to be loud out here.
Yeah, we've literally been talking for an hour. He hasn't said anything. The second I said, okay, let's do this. Like, okay, all right. So we're trying something different.
Yes.
Instead of leaving him, my fingers kind of looked like his ears for a minute. But instead of leaving him outside, I've cracked the door and he is sitting on my lap. So we shall see how long this lasts.
He looks
For the YouTube viewers, you are getting a back shot of Zeus's head because he refuses to look up. He's like, don't talk about me.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Anyways, all right. PS episode. We are talking today about how failure isn't real. And what I mean by that is that your thoughts about what the concept, what the thought process or notion of failure is what is going to drive what its definition is for you. Mm-hmm. So if you view failure as a setback or a reset to a stepping stone to continuing to move towards the goal or the end result we're looking for, then I would say you have a healthy thought process surrounding what failure is. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're viewing failure as taking it from like a shame standpoint and internalizing that I'm the one who messed up, I'm bad, I'm the mistake, versus just viewing like, okay, I made a mistake, that wasn't what I wanted to do, let's reset, refocus. So if you're internalizing it, then that's where the issue comes. And I think that's why so many people struggle with this concept of failing.
Well, I think it goes to cognitive errors too, right? Like failure is a very all or nothing situation. I failed, I can never do this again, you know?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Then that also leads to shame because you're like, well, I'm a shitty person because I didn't succeed in something, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in your life, Mar, when has been a situation where maybe in that situation, you literally felt like either like a failure, right? Like you internalized it in a shame sense of I am a failure, or like you had failed at something that really sticks out to you?
So before we got on, we were giving examples, but now that I think about it, I think, so I said divorce, but now that I think about it, I've never viewed it as I failed.
Same.
But I have had so many clients view that. That's why I think that's why that was the first one that came to mind. Sure. Because I don't view my divorce as a failure. I view it as me making a healthy choice for my life and wanting more for myself and understanding my self-worth and having self-respect and deciding that I deserve more. That's it. Yeah. But I have had a lot of clients internalize the thought process or view of if I get a divorce or because I've had a divorce that I have failed, that I am used goods, that I am damaged, that I am, no one's going to want this, blah, 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 whatever their negative thought is about it. When in reality, I think that a divorce is people understanding that they no longer make each other happy. They no longer work. They no longer fit. And to me, that is this rest and reset and then continue to move forward with the goal of I want to be happy in my life. And this isn't cultivating happiness anymore.
Do you think with having ADHD and like having so many thoughts in your brain at once, right? And they're racing all the time, that perseverating on failure, not that it's impossible for you, but do you feel like it's harder for you to hyper focus on feeling like a failure?
I think maybe for some people it is. I think it's what I deem in my brain as important. And I have never viewed failure as a bad thing. Mm-hmm. I have just viewed it as like, okay, that didn't work. Then I need to try something else. Cause there are things that I perseverate on. Like I perseverate on my weight. I perseverate on the things that I eat. I perseverate on some of the things that I say to clients, whether or not it was timed right, or if it was like an okay, like there are things that I definitely fixate on. Mm-hmm. But failure is one of those things. And maybe it is with ADHD that like perfectionism and failure just isn't like in my wheelhouse. I don't think it's made it easier to not think about it. I just think that the way that my brain works is that like I know that I mess things up. I know that I get things wrong because I do a lot of things impulsively. So I feel like it's just like a given that I'm going to be like, oh, that didn't go well. Okay. How do I reset and how do I come at it from a different angle?
Also, perseverating, you guys, is like overthinking and ruminating, right? Where the thoughts are consuming, just to clarify. We were talking in the masterclass the other day about how sometimes people won't do things out of fear of failure because of perfectionism, right? That's very much a me thing. If I'm not great at it from the jump, I don't want to fucking do it. Granted, that has gotten much better because now I'm able to enjoy the process of whatever it is that I'm trying to do and being proud of myself for putting forth the effort. But my whole life, if I wasn't stellar at something, catch me not trying to do it because I didn't want to look dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I can remember when I was in labor being told I had to have a C-section and thinking that I failed at having a baby.
Oh,
like that's how, I don't want to say extreme my thoughts were, but that was my first thought of like, I can't even have a baby. Right. And what the fuck? Like there's no wrong way to bring a child into the world.
I was like, there's no right or wrong way.
No, but I didn't have the mindset that I have now. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 8 years ago. So it's just wild to me how, again, your brain is a very powerful fucking thing. Yes. And when you allow it to go in the wrong direction, it's going to keep going until you say, I don't want to fucking do that anymore. You know, starting our businesses, everything wasn't great from the beginning, right? We're learning as we go. We're still learning. It's been years at this point, you know, and we're still learning each and every day. Are we going to not be great at something, or it may not go well at one point? Yeah, but that doesn't mean we failed. Because here's the thing. After every situation in your life, you learn something from it. There is something to always be learned about any situation, right? I've had plenty of launches of things that just didn't go well. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to do something else. I could have very easily been like, I can't fucking do this. I'm a terrible business owner. I'm just going to fucking scrap it. I'm not doing it. I could have very easily done that. But for what? That's not what I want.
Right. That is not what's going to get you to that end result, that end goal of wanting to be a better business owner, wanting to be more marketable, wanting to have merch that people like, whatever the goal is. Giving up and putting your head in the sand or you know, kicking and screaming isn't going to get you to that place. So to me, there's no other option. Like how you said, I always tell my clients that I don't think things are right or wrong or good or bad. I think that there are lessons. You have either some more lessons or less lessons, and consequences, right? And it's teaching you something. There's a reason you're learning that. So instead of viewing this as this internalization of, you know what, I am a piece of shit, it's my fault, I did this. It's more so of like, okay, this is a lesson in that this doesn't go well with this population, or this doesn't go well with this, you know, algorithm. And here's the next thing that I'm going to do. It is all about how you structure it in your brain. That is literally the key of what today's episode is talking about. Your thoughts will dictate how you feel about whatever topic it is. We're happening to talk about failure today because that's something. He's moving. Let's see if he interrupts. Typically now he will just go lay under the desk. And he'll just be there. So, and hopefully Sophia doesn't see the door open as an invitation to come in. But how you view any situation, your thoughts, when I'm saying view, your thoughts about it, cultivate the emotion behind it. So that's what this is. We're happening to talk about failure, like I was saying, because of the first couple of PS episodes that we've talked about, like towards the end of December and then the beginning of January, because resolution